And hello, welcome everyone to the pool reveal for Lockdown League. Joining me today is the one, the only, the Welsh legend himself, Mr. Bebop. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today.
No, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here as always. As we all know why we're here is to talk about Lockdown League 2 Electric Boogaloo. Obviously, there's going to be no games for those of you who aren't in the know. So this is legitimately just a quick rundown, quick explanation of formatting, rules, etc. Because we do have a couple of changes there. Generic build-up, your run-of-the-mill on the tin build-up, and of course we're also going to talk you through some of the matchups that we would like to see, and also a quick rundown of the players through the pools. So again, thank you very much for having me, and guys, I hope you're all buckled in, because for the next hour or so, we're just going to talk you through on what's to be expected in the coming months.
Indeed, I mean, I have said any of that better myself. Bebop, as always, prepared and ready on the mic.
I have my moments,
Many of them. And there's a few other surprises sprinkled here and there. Some production improvements, some rule set changes, and a ton of other details sprinkled in. But over time, we'll get to those, and we'll be going through those one by one. If there's any questions in the chat at any point, just feel free to drop them. I will be looking through to pick any of that stuff up. And, just sort of answer any of your concerns, questions, or queries. And with that, I believe we'll be heading into a recap of the last Lockdown League. That was a pretty immense event, absolutely filled with great games. And so hopefully we'll be having a recap of that as a hype up before this whole show.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Get you in the mood, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the What is this? Oh my god!
That's it.
Yeah, this is wait.
Oh, the train! Oh my goodness, both in rage. Oh my god, what an answer!
You're
always going with a screwdriver.
more than two.
Oh my god! Uh-oh.
Oh, I went for the whip punish there.
Oh,
Blue stuff! That was huge!
yes!
Oh god. This is a heartbreak. Punish that!
No one punished his episode! Oh my god, the spaghetti is being talked.
Is so intense. Running in. Down back two. Wake up. He's on rage.
Pressure!
It's the end of the story for the hero. Blue stuff. Blocked. What's happening? 20 seconds left. He lost it.
Spectacular.
It looked like a read. 50% off. Back one to get out.
Oh my goodness.
How's he gonna get in?
No, just
didn't get the wall.
smidge off. Punish that.
Oh, get back!
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Oh my goodness! Break your back!
What's the setup now? Oh my goodness!
Calvin is going to have to pull something out of his ass here, and I'm betting it's a snake edge. There it is! Yes! Yes! Called it!
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh! No punish! Oh my god! What's happening?
What is going on? What is happening?
Spike!
Is he dead?
No, he's not! Gets a bit.
Did he swing?
He. Oh my god! He put a wrist!
Giroir just looks so comfortable right now.
Oh, backswing low.
This could be dead. Not quite.
One more chance.
He's got the back foot. Oh my god. He's in rage. One more hit! And that's it! Chicken Maru is your Lockdown League champion.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a pretty good recap of some of the games that we experienced during the Lockdown League. Especially that Abominable Comeback versus Lockhart was insane. That was mad hype. I remember that live spamming copy pastas and everything. That was insane.
Copy pasta. That was my favorite anime arc of the whole series. Honestly, the stew arc. It was a good one, honestly. But hopefully, guys, we're gonna see a lot more of that. A bit spicier, obviously, in the second version of Lockdown League. I can't wait. Honestly, I'm pretty excited because I still remember watching a lot of the pools of the first Lockdown League. Just on Twitch, commentating it as well. It was just mad fun all the way throughout. So I just can't wait to see what we get into next time now. And obviously, with some of the players that are looking to be in it, I think we're just going to get more of that. I don't think there's no reason to doubt it's not going to be better in every way. So I'm pretty excited, honestly.
Yeah, and obviously the entrant list has changed a bit. Just to continue the tease, the entrant list has changed a bit. There's some different players, there's some new players, there's some players that aren't playing from last one. So it'll be very interesting. But before we get into all that interesting stuff, let's tease you a bit more, and let's talk about the rules and the format. I believe we have another video prepared that covers the basics of the format, probably a bit more eloquently than I ever could.
Don't be putting yourself down. Come on. Oh, like, you could do a better job than any old PowerPoint. Come on, man. Got to beat yourself up.
But my English skills are about as questionable as my Tekken skills. So let's get into the video, explain the format, and we'll be right back again.
Lockdown League 2 has a brand new format. It's split into 4 phases: the group stage, the LCQs, the semi-finals, and the grand finals. The group stage is the same as before. 32 challengers split over 4 round-robin brackets, with the top 4 of each bracket making it to the semi-finals. The LCQ is split in 2. One is for the 16 challengers who did not qualify for the semi-finals, and one is open for everybody else, like last time. The runners-up of both LCQs will compete in a first to 3 for the final slot in the semi-finals. The semi-finals is directly inspired by the Tekken World Tour. 4 more round-robin brackets with 5 players in each group, 16 qualifiers, 3 LCQ winners, and our previous champion, Shikamaru, takes the 20th spot. Players will take turns deciding which bracket they wish to enter. More information on that in the future. The top 2 of each semi-final bracket qualify to the finals. Our top 8 double elimination bracket to determine the Lockdown League 2 champion.
Nice. Thank you, Shardle, for that amazing explanation.
Yeah, thank you, Squirtle. It's always appreciated.
Of course, going into the events, we'll have a match Reno again, with a lot of different incentives for you guys to donate. Each event will accumulate for the bigger prize. Every player entering will also be, they pay for the entry, and I believe 70% of the £5 entry goes towards the prize pool as well. So that's a nice start to kick off with. Something to consider. Something to consider is the fact that the incentives, maybe more. This is some of the incentives we have for now. Obviously, you gotta unlock the previous tier to get it. At some point, maybe we'll start selling frame data in good netcode. You never know. Can't promise anything.
Hey man, you don't ask, you don't get. Simple as. So
yeah, exactly. maybe that number 5 is rollback netcode for Tekken. You never know. Like, if you get there, then we'll tell you if it is or not.
Do it.
But
do it.
That's jokes aside. We'll get a ton of different incentives. There may be some extra added in the future. Can't promise anything. But for now, this is what we're set in stone with.
Yeah. And to add a bit more tension to the whole thing, I don't even know what these tiers are locked behind. So obviously, I'm going to incentivize everyone to put their money down because I want to know. Obviously, I've got to put myself first in this somehow. But yeah, pretty much like Punlife has said, guys, it's as simple as. So obviously, with your support going towards the tournament, we reach different milestones, and then obviously that just gives a better experience for everyone. Yourself, the players, and also it's just a great way to give back to the community, to the organizers, who do a lot of it. Like, obviously, if I could get a slice of the pie, that would be nice, but unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So guys, if you could help me out, and then maybe that will change. But jokes aside, it's just a great way to, just to have a great relationship with everyone all in all. There's great games we provided. There's an awesome tournament going on here. And obviously, it's we'll always say you don't like, obviously contribution is always optional, guys. You don't have to break the bank if you can't do it, but if you do like what you see and you definitely can do it, it's always a good way to help. And obviously you're all probably sick of hearing this word because we say it every 2 seconds, but obviously the match arena will be applied, so don't worry. For those of you who want to support but do not have the means to do it, don't worry. The ELF guys, they've got you covered. So like, obviously there's going to be support through the match arena, through the sponsor quests, like just like you would in any other TNT and the other lockdown. So you're spoiled for choice when it comes to actually supporting it. Or you just don't support it. If you don't want to be very cash money, that's totally fine. But just so like we've said, like, goals have been set there. And obviously it's just going to be great to see each tier busted, and obviously just see if we can smash the record of the last Lockdown League, which was 800, was it, if I remember correctly? I can't actually remember.
Something along those lines, yeah.
Yeah, it was high. It was like, well, they got all the goals in the first Lockdown League, so obviously it's gonna be good to see if we can match that energy and fire. And obviously I'll be putting my money where my mouth is. Don't worry, everyone. I'm not gonna preach and not do my own bit.
Indeed, I'll be dropping a little something in there as well at some point. Especially considering getting paid soon, so we'll drop a little something. Now, the next thing to go into, next agenda on the list, is to consider the fact that we have some rule changes. Mainly because Namco has actually decided to change something about online. So we of course we now have a way of seeing if somebody randomed or they picked an actual stage. We also have the lobby skip that didn't have to be modded in by someone else. Wink, wink, Ed, if you're watching. So as a result of that, we will be changing the current rule set to standard TWT rules of presets and normal outfits. That's pretty standard, nothing changing here. However, when it comes to stage picking, first stage random, same as always, and any loss, when any player that changes on a loss can pick their own stage, right? You just try to make sure that you're in the correct position in the lobby before the up. But of course we can now skip, which makes things a lot easier even when those things don't fully work out. So hopefully that counter picking in terms of stage should be a bit more available, let's say. You don't have to rely on that random chance. And you don't have to trust in people to random, because I know some of you have been picking Forgotten Realm, Anna players. I know some of you, but so that hopefully helps a bit with the entire situation.
Yeah, definitely. Like, obviously, couldn't say it to myself. Just to reinforce what Punlife have said, guys. Obviously, big rule changes, especially with the stage picking, because now there's a meta play involved with the online tournament. Because obviously, previously, if you've been in the other lockdowns or any of the TNT stuff, or most online tournaments for the next part, it's always been random stages. But now you have that element of, right, okay, I'm not for the situation I'm in. It's bottom of the 9th. I want to play it to my favor with the stage. So you can do that legally now. So it's like, obviously, we could never prove it before. We just kind of went off the honor system, which works and doesn't work. But now, obviously, with the highlight of random being picked, we know for damn sure now. So it's something that can be enforced, but it's also something we can be a bit more lax with because we've got something to work with. So that's probably the biggest rule change to come in, and I think it's one that everyone's most interested in because it's something players can use to their advantage, which is what you want, really, because it's a lot more entertaining. But yeah, so obviously, yeah, just to reinforce what Pun said, and obviously just to remind you all that we were on to you from the start, okay? So don't think you got away with it. It's just we couldn't prove it. All right.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. Constraints and all. However, without further ado, let's start getting into the meat and potatoes.
Yes.
Of this.
Yes, main course. Let's do it.
Let's look at some pools.
Hang on. Right. Okay. Sorry, a rat just chewed through the production wire. Okay, we're good now. We're good. Right. Okay.
Pool A.
Waving! Wow, we're playing tower defense. Let's go! Damn, you got Shirtle Rukang. Whoa, this is a tough wave. Ooh.
Right, so as you can see, there isn't any seeding within pools, obviously, because it's a round robin. So in terms of that, it doesn't matter which position you place. That this is just a list of the players who are inside a pool. So don't excite it if you're number 1 or you're number 8. It doesn't change in a grand scheme of things. So we have a pretty big variety of players, and if we before we get into each one of those players, let's show some extra spice that I might have fashioned up over the last 2 months. Mr. Production Man, if you could drop us the spice.
Or woman, we don't discriminate. Hey, look at them cards. Look beautiful. Are we esports now?
There's enough. There's a couple of a little issue now on the didn't render numbers correctly. However, there is some player cards. There's other player cards that are popular from Smash GG. I have an app that generates some data from Smash, pulls all of it up, and then displays recent placements, displays head-to-head, occasionally trips up. But for the most part, it displays a lot of things. So, with those two players, for example, we have Rukang and Kirby. We don't have to explain why they've been picked like as a random matchup.
For those of us who aren't in the know, I'll leave it be. I think a lot of people know why this one can be a bit interesting. But it's for once I'm gonna shy away from the juicier stuff. But yeah, I mean, but let's talk about the cards for a second. So if you look at those average placements, those are both really strong placements from both players. So obviously you've got Rukang rocking 8th, with appearances for the Tekken Online Open, double KO twice, the very ELS very own TNT. And then obviously you got Kirby with placements of his own, obviously with the mini Migs, the Lockdown League, hey. Self-branding, it's all there. Yeah. So, what's your thoughts on this matchup in general, then?
See, I think this is what usually happens, and I've seen this happen in Twitch as before. I've seen it happen on Twitter and other places. The North gets slept on. No matter how little north of London it is, it gets slept on, right? We've seen it with the Midlands lads, we've seen it with the Scottish, we've seen it with the Irish. People sleep on a lot of players that aren't inside London, because London is the sort of the UK strong point of Tekken, but there's so many skilled players. And I've heard before of people saying, Kirby won this matchup or that matchup, and then he comes through and he pulls it out. Not just Kirby, there's other players that do the same thing. But I think it's something we can't count out. I think online, Rukang's playstyle is definitely a force to be reckoned with. He's already a quite instinctive player. He plays a lot with his heart, and does a lot of hard reads. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. However,
yeah, 100%.
That said, I think he could really meet a force to be reckoned with in terms of Kirby, because they both played a lot of online. They both know a lot of scrub tactics, and when you play against the pole, like, you're bound to be eating some damage.
Oh, 100%. I mean, because obviously, just yesterday, actually, for those of you who've been floating around, there's a juicy little video going around of Paul landing a TOD pretty much on Duomo di Sirio. So if you haven't seen it, you can go see why people absolutely despise this character and want him gone. I'm one of them. But yeah, but in terms of all seriousness, I think, to agree with you, like, Kirby, he's a strong player, going off what I saw in the last lockdown. He's really good at switching up his fundamentals. His flow from defensive play to offensive play is just there. But I think what he really shines at most, and it can be contributed to the character as well, to the character strengths. His checking and poking is just stellar. There's very rarely a foot placed wrong, and obviously when you're dealing with Paul, who is heavily rewarded for placing his hits really well, it's tough no matter who you are, and obviously I think Kirby, he's not going to make it easy for Rukang, but like you said, in contrast to that, Rukang, obviously he's quite explosive when it comes to playing online as well. He's playing Bob, a character not seen represented as much nowadays compared to previous representations in the other Tekken games. But Rukang's showing that he can do work. He'll hell sweep you 4 times in a row if he has to. It's just great to see. So I'm really looking forward to that matchup. Honestly, it's going to be a good one. Just with the explosiveness from both, but from 2 different angles, it's going to be great.
Indeed, and let's move on to the next matchup then. I think that one was really difficult to call. With this
Here
one,
we go.
we have another matchup because there's a lot of players, so we don't want to just look at all the top players. There's a lot of variety in skill in Lockdown League. A lot of it is really strong players, but a lot of it is players just below that point of like the top not. So it's very interesting to look at those matchups, and we've seen this matchup a few times before.
We have,
if you remember those times.
We have. It was even played. It was played during the Rank Up League, if memory serves me correctly, and was it? I think it was twice. I think they even ran back in the Rank Up.
Yeah,
which is really good actually. So and they were great matches all in all. But enough of ancient history, but like obviously check those games out, guys, because they were really hotness. As for the players, I'm really looking forward to this matchup. I think Local A being he's pretty much the UK representative of Lay, hands down. I mean you ask anyone, people say, who. When you think of Lay in the UK, who do you say? And obviously, before they say Bebop, they always say Local Lay. So that's fine. But yeah, jokes aside and self-plugging, Local Lay, he's done a lot of work. He's been around for a long time. I think people actually underestimate how long he's been playing, not just Tekken, just Lay in general. A very, people who've been playing Lay for that long are just major character experts, and Local Ace is one of them. Since Tekken 3, he's tried and true veteran, knows the character inside out, and just a great player. Like he's very, very risky, but it's calculated, and there's a lot of buttons being thrown out, and it just adds that great mixture of unpredictability to the soup, and then you just end up with a great match throughout, and it's just pleasing to the eye, especially for people backing the loyalty for Lay. So that's a good one. And then on the opposite side of it all, you've got Tezron, who is another character expert. Been playing Eliza since she dropped, as far as I remember. I've never known Tez to really pick anyone else. Degenerate through and through. A degenerate through and through, sticks to his guns. That's what we like around here. Again, one of the UK representatives of Eliza. Obviously, there are a couple more players, but definitely he's in the upper echelons. He's with the elite when it comes to being recognized with the character. It's one and the other, hand in hand. So, and Tezeron, he understands his character's options all the time. He's a solid player through and through. Looking to play very precisely, scalpel-like play. It's just amazing. And then the moment there's a kink in the armor, that's it. It's game over. Great 2D uses of the features, like you got bar, you got EX moves, invincible DP, 10 free punish for big boy damage. And again, it's cool because we've got another matchup that's very similar, but it's mirrored in the aspects of either the players or the character. So another matchup I'm really excited for.
Indeed, and who would you like if we were to pick a player to root for?
Local A, 100%.
Okay. I think, especially if there's an infinite stage involved, I think Local A has a big chance of taking it.
Yeah, definitely.
He plays exceedingly well in Infinite. I think he uses Blade's tools to space really.
He does.
Well.
Huge fan of the haha step and haha turn. He's a massive fan of it, and just great use. And I just want to say, when I say I'm rooting for Local A, Tez, I love you, man. We've spoken quite a bit. I'm rooting for the underdog in it because obviously you've beaten him twice in the 2 times you met up, and also I gotta rep my boy. He's Mr. Wulong. Come on, man. It's as simple as that. But it's honestly both great players. I haven't actually played Tez. I've played with Local A bit. It's gonna be a good one. I'm really excited. So that will be A tier.
Yeah, and if we look at the rest of the pool and just briefly run through the rest of the players, give him some attention and shine.
Yes.
Right. So we don't have to talk about Shirtle. Mr. Squirtle.
I know. Who wants to hear about that guy?
Who's that guy? Obviously, the Alyssa of London, pretty much.
Yes.
Quality player, a bit mad on the chainsaws, down 3 is a bit too much, but in an online playstyle, he can really tilt people and he can really pull off some pretty solid maneuvers. I've seen Doug from Paris on Twitter after Shoto played him, and it wasn't a pretty sight. So with that sort of playstyle and absolutely tilting people, it can be a dangerous weapon in the right hands.
Yeah, 100%.
We talked about Rukang, and then we have the Youngblood.
Yes, the new guard, Rise Immortal Soul. Obviously, hasn't been with Rise too long. It's been about 3 months, has it? If memory serves.
I don't know. It's lockdown. I think time is.
I don't know.
Such a weird pace.
Yeah, my sense of time is massively warped. But yeah, so Immortal Soul, obviously repping the Rise gang. Obviously, looking forward to it. Immortal Soul. He's starting to see a lot more of him now. Obviously, great use with the old Raven. So I'm really looking forward to that one. That's going to be a good one. Just solid player all in all. Right. So, mind though, there's one name on here that I think we do need to talk about real quick, and that is Oni Gingerbread. Come out of absolutely nowhere. Just came out of the woods like the Sasquatch that he is. And obviously he made his debut, or at least he made his waves, I should say, in the lockdown. No, it was the rank up. It was rank up level 3, and then he promoted to get into rank up level 2 with Gigas of all characters. So a great representation of tier lists don't win matches. They help, but it's definitely it's not who's got the biggest stick, is how you swing it, as it were. So that's very good to see. Yeah.
Very eloquently put.
Yeah, it's the mind it goes into, guys. It's nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me.
Just so we don't forget anyone, we also have Bakri in the pool. Some solid placements from Bakri.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see him play more, honestly, because I was scouting at the Smash GG before, and I see 13 turns, but he's got 5th out of 46, got 9th of 22, 5th out of 28, 5th out of 39. So he's got decent placements. He's placing in the sort of the higher numbers, but I want to see him play more, and I think the Lockdown League will be a good way for him to potentially show all those skills, see how he stacks up against other players.
100%.
Obviously, online environment isn't entirely ideal, but it would still be very interesting to see how he performs and how he does. I definitely want to see how he performs here.
Yep.
Right. Bebop, are we ready for the next line?
Yes, we are. So here we go. We've got Wave B. So, well, you look at those names. There's quite a lot of acronyms ahead of those names. I'm getting a little scared here, but yeah. So that's a great lineup of players. Honestly, really is. That is a very. I don't envy anyone in Wave B, to be honest. That is an absolute Shark Tank, right there. And now, would you like to talk us through some of the matchups, Mr. Punlife?
Indeed, let's go into some matchups. Yeah. Oh, please don't be that back, please, though. Indeed. So, this is a matchup I want to see. So we have the Elf Guards, the Miguel of London, and possibly one of the best Miguels in UK. He just plays the character. No matter what happens, he's sticking with him, and he's pulling out some quality stuff versus the absolute robbery the Joker pulls out on a daily basis. We've seen some of his Twitter clips. We've seen we've seen Risky get rage arted earlier as well, which it hurts. It hurts the soul, but I just want to see this happen because I think there's potential for upsets here. I think a lot of people would put Joker as the favorite in the matchup, given some of his results. But I think Benga is a very solid player, and especially if he's prepared and if he's in the right mindset, he can do a lot of damage.
Definitely. I'm glad you said it because I was thinking as well, and I was going to get onto it. Benga, he is a force to be reckoned with, man. I mean, I think let's bring it back to recent matches. Obviously, played Shen in the mirror of Miguel, and he did win. It wasn't on stream, unfortunately, but I'm sure it was a great match. But Benga, he just goes through. He can hold his own, man. Seriously, he really plays his guts out, and that's just what I love about him. He always comes back stronger every time. He'll play a tournament. He'll say, happy with how I performed, but not happy with the result. He'll go to the hyperbolic time chamber. He comes back out and he does better, and then it's just rinse and repeat. And he's just got. It's just that. that characteristics of a don't count them out hero, like like the local ring legend. You know what I mean? So I'm really excited with that. Joker as well, solid player. Like honestly, it sounds cheesy, but just talented, just gifted. Honestly, solid player. Plays all the missions pretty much, bar a couple. But I know he plays Heihachi and Kaz mostly. Just plays them. Just there's not much to really say. Just never puts a foot wrong. Honestly, like he takes a mile when he just sees the nanoest meters of inches. Like he will honestly, that makes no sense, but whatever, we'll roll with it. So, but the point I'm trying to make is you can't give Joker any space. You can't give him anything to work with. So it's going to be a very tough matchup for Arsene Wenger. And I agree. I think he's going to be seen as the underdog in this, and Joker's going to be the favorite. But it's not going to be easy. I don't think Joker's just going to be able to snatch it. If Wenger just comes in with the right mindset, plays like he normally does, just keeps focus, I think we've got a really good match on our hands, to be honest.
Indeed, no, it would be very interesting to see. And I mean, Joker's placements are looking pretty scary. I mean, looking at those last 5 placements of his, we have 4 for obviously Lockdown League, so that's the last one we played. 4 from Lockdown League, 4 from the Lockdown Special, and then like that WSO placement as well. That was a pretty big event. And Dojo Nights in I think Birmingham as well. So quality placements, quality player, and I think he's been playing a lot with with other players online. I know there's been some. Mandem lobbies is the correct
lobbies,
term.
yeah. I've heard the term thrown about, yeah.
Indeed. So we'll see how he performs. I mean, I want to root for my boy Benga, but honestly, with either of them, you can't cut him out.
Definitely not.
They're both so strong.
I know, yeah. It's going to be a nail biter, that one, for sure.
Indeed, and let's get into the next matchup to discuss. Got lots
here we go. Big and small. This is a matchup you don't often see, and I don't mean the player. Well, I mean the players and the characters. Honestly, this is quite an interesting one. Obviously, we've got a lot of the Scottish representation for you lot. Obviously, I can already hear the chat now being like, "Yo, Divine Tricks, big squad." Yeah. Honestly, there's not a lot to say about Divine Tricks. Anyone who's here knows what he's like. He's a great guy. One of the best Zhao Yus. I believe I played him. It was on PS4, if I remember correctly. I bumped into him in the ecosystem like many moons ago. He absolutely kicked the hash out of me, honestly. So it's and he's just so entertaining. He's great to have on screen. He's just one of those characters, that he's so dangerous, but he just doesn't know when to stop partying. He's just an absolute animal when it comes to the matchup. So I'm very excited to see that. Icarus, obviously, it's a shame. Obviously, going from used to being a Claudio gang, as he used to be rocking it.
We don't want him anymore.
Yeah, of course, Exodus. So obviously Marduk. I don't think Marduk's ever really been weak since he's come back to Tekken 7. Honestly. Plays to the meta, very explosive character, could put you in situations that are just death, or on a wrong guess it puts you in a situation that will lead to death. Just all out, and Icarus, he knows his options. Obviously, seeing when he last played, just plays so methodically, just looking for the smallest whiff, capitalizing, and then the moment you start doubting yourself in the play, that's when the tackles come in. And it's so dangerous. It's such a volatile mix, and it's something I'm looking forward to, because you've got obviously you've got, in terms of character design, you've got 2 very opposing characters. You've got someone based on evasiveness, a bag of tricks, trying to open you up sort of aesthetic, and then you've got, on the other side of it, you've got large, and then explosive damage, just great tools to keep you conditioned. So I think it's going to be a good match as well. I think it's going to be very unpredictable. I can see this being one of those matches you go in and you're just going to see things on the screen that you just can't explain. It's just going to be absolute sorcery, and I'm all for it, 100%. So that's going to be
about right. Honestly, especially those 2 characters, there's so much potential for robbery with Marduk's insane damage, with Xiaoyu's evasiveness. Obviously, she had a fall from grace since season 1.
Yeah.
It's definitely a very noticeable fall from grace. However, there's still potential out there, and Divine Tricks does stick to her. pretty reliably. So we'll see how he managed the matchup. I think Icarus, if he practices, I think he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. I remember VSF 2018, I think. It was 3 Claudios that I knew of, like three fairly non-Claudios at VSF 2018, and it was me, it was Risky, and it was Icarus. And Icarus placed the highest of us.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was Icarus, then me, then Risky. I don't know what happened in 2019 because they didn't go. I know
Shame.
2019 Risky had like explosive results. So I'm sure the result was very much different. But it was at that point Icarus was definitely the strongest. He was pulling out some quality plays. He also pulled out 100 quid from my pocket in a money match of ESL.
Oh yeah, I've heard of this. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I beat down so bad. So just for the record, I don't smoke, but the beatdown was so bad. I was so upset that I left and I got my friends to buy me cigarettes. I smoked one and I
the
just threw them away.
the stress Siggy. We've all been there. We've all been there.
Oh, I was so sorry.
Yes, I can see it now.
I was like, oh, I practiced beforehand. Like I was like the Claudia Morale, like I was ready for it. I was like, I practiced so much I could step running, the running mix-ups and everything. But I just got hit by everything. So you know,
yeah, we've all been there, man. We've all been there.
Yeah, it happens. But, you know, it is what it is.
It is. So yeah, if we just have a quick look at Wave B again, guys, so we can talk you through the rest of the players. Obviously, everyone here is of note. We've all got something to say. Don't worry, they all get their moment. So obviously, starting with number 1, Bonus Jin. Starting to see a lot of him a lot more now, especially in the online. Well, since all we got at the moment is online, seeing a lot of presence from Bonus Jin. Doing a lot of work with Nina. It's great. I like seeing Bonus Jin on the screen, honestly, because it's just it not only is he using a character you hardly ever see, but he just uses them in such a way that it makes them look viable. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, yo, maybe I'll give Nina a look, and then you pick her up and you're like, this character's ass. What am I even doing? So yeah, so I'm really excited about that one. I don't know if you got anything else to add, but like, it's as simple as it is on the tin. You know, Bonus Jin. Solid player, been around for a long time. You know, obviously part of the District G crew. Just really solid player, doing a lot of work in everything he turns up in. Yeah,
I think that you covered pretty well. We also have a few players that a few other players that we need to talk about. So I see a 7 K-Swiss. K-Whiskey. I don't know if he goes by many names.
Who is this K-Swiss?
The 10K YouTube man. Congratulations.
Yes.
He's honestly a fantastic content creator and a fantastic player. Used to press back 1 every moment he got. He presses slightly less now. You can still catch him pressing sometimes, but hey, I can't chat too much considering I try to snipe him the other day and go just battered.
Says the guy who hop kicks at -9.
Hey, it's a strat.
Anyway,
but quality player. He got a pretty high placement last time, from what I recall. And he's got a habit of coming second.
Yes.
Take that however you want. That's advertising for any of you ladies, ever. I want to see him do damage. I want to see him come out on top this time. I think he has the potential to. But we'll see. Can he beat Chicken Maru? Because I think the record is very good for him.
It's definitely the old lovers spat, isn't it? So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top in this one, because I'm confident that match will happen again. So moving on, we've already covered Icarus. King Kong right now. So remember I was saying that there are Eliza players. This is another one of them. So put them on the list, the blacklist, if you will. So yeah, King Kong down here in Wales. Haven't seen much of him recently. He is still some participation with the Bristol lot because they got an online scene at the moment. Plays Eliza. I know he had a Marduk stint at one point. So obviously 2 very explosive characters. Depending who you ask, one is better than the other, and there's 2 different answers to that. So like that's a different can of worms. I'm looking forward to it because I remember the last time he played. There was E Minor was saying he's the best Eliza he's ever seen because he made the snake edge work. A 32 frame low launcher with a telegraphed hop. So I'm really rooting for it. I really hope he does it again, because I spent a lot of money, because I put money down for every Snake Edge that was done. So yeah, that's gonna be a good fun one. And then next, I believe we have Changbang.
Indeed, he's absolutely loved by Christie players worldwide.
Of course.
I've seen many a Christie player flock to his timeline for various reasons, but the outpouring of love and support from the Christie community for him has been absolutely incredible.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
It's honestly been a sight to behold. Chantal Charcoal, the legend herself, has been on that timeline constantly between resting phrases. Jokes aside, quality Julia player. Post some quality clips on Twitter, but I think his name describes the matchup pretty well. You see the Chang, you get the bang, and it is what it is. You have to deal with it. Julia, very strong character right now. If season 4 doesn't come in the middle of this Lockdown League, then
are you
we'll see.
He's in trouble if they nerf Julia. Oh my goodness.
Magically pulls Julia gets nerfed. Oh no. Whoops.
Hey man, could happen to anyone. But we're pretty confident that won't happen, guys. Don't worry, Chang. Wipe the bead of sweat off your forehead, son. I can see it from here. Right. Okay.
Let's get into Pool C. Let's keep it going. We still got a fair few players to cover.
Right. Okay. Wave C. This again, obviously saying that the last wave was a Shark Tank. My goodness, there's a lot of people in this that could just take it. Honestly, I can see 4 names on there already that I think that could just absolutely snatch it. So that's gonna be a really good one. Yeah. Cool. Let's
get into the first.
Look at them scorecards.
It's gonna be a big one.
It's gonna be a big one. There it is. I'm gonna say this now, right? I mean, no disrespect to the matches we've already said and the matches we're gonna go to. This is the one I'm looking forward to the most.
I mean, I think the craziest thing is, so I'm just looking at that card. So I haven't seen those cards before. This is getting generated in real time, by the way. This isn't some pre-prepared thing. This is real time. Just tooting my horn over here, but it is. Average placement first. That's pretty good. I don't think he can get any higher than that effectively. I mean, he just literally won the E West Online, bodied Ryan Hart. What else can we say? It's just absolutely insane placement. Fantastic play, and just I don't think you can really find another player online, especially because offline results can be a bit mixed. Eddie's had some solid results, but then some fails here and there. But online, he's very hard to defeat. There's many records of him.
Terror. I think it's getting to the point now, especially in the TNTs. If you see Eddie in your pathway, that's it. There's nothing that you could really do about it. You're in losers. And it's really good to see. I'm really happy to see Eddie, coming back in, because obviously took a long break from Tekken. One that was needed coming from him, but he's just come back stronger. It may seem a bit strong for me, but it looks like his love for the game, or at least his love for competition, has been reignited. So that's very good to see, because Eddie's just one of those pioneers, who people love to see him play and people love to see him do well. So I think it's great for everyone involved that he's come back. But also, talking of returns, obviously Asim, man, has been gone for a hot minute. Was pretty much retired, if I remember correctly. But obviously coming back in with the Kazumi. Now, obviously, for those of you who've been around the block, Asim needs no introduction, needs no description. But, easily one of the best players in the EU. It may seem quite strong, and I may be upsetting people by saying that, but I stand by that comment through and through. Man just does absolute bits at a world level. He's really good. He really knocks it home. So I'm really excited to see him.
Qualifying for TWT finals as well.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Very, very strong player. One of the OGs, just does absolute work. So I'm really excited to see him start playing again. It's been a while. Last time I actually saw him compete, and I'm sure he competed after that, was the Sodium Showdown dojo event, and obviously, and he won that. If I remember, well, I say if I remember correctly, I know for a fact he won it because he absolutely just blitzed through it. He was in a rush. So I to be honest, this match doesn't need much description. It's just going to be a good one. It's one I'm really looking forward to because because Eddie's kind of like the new blood that just runs away with it, and then you got Asim, who's the OG who runs away with it. So like I think it's going to be a great clash of the Titans.
Indeed, and I don't know who to root for here. Honestly, anything can happen.
Yeah,
it's cool
it could
to
go
have him
either
on
way.
PC now, so it's great to have him in the tournament. Do follow him on Twitch if you guys haven't already. Tell him to update his Smash socials so I can display those live. If you're a player, please, if you're going to be in Lockdown League or any future Elf tournaments, update your socials on Smash. I want to help you get more followers and build your brand up. This is my way of helping.
Yeah, brand is everything.
By updating.
Brand is everything. Oh,
Neat.
right.
Next matchup. Let's go. Let's keep going. I'm in this now. Let's go.
I know. We're in a groove. We're excited. Can we just start this tomorrow? Here we go. So we got J-Web and Sin. All right now. So, this I gotta be. I actually have a dog in the fight for this one. So I'm gonna be very unprofessional. I'm gonna be very biased. So obviously Sin, he's uses Ganryu. Been using Ganryu a lot recently. Obviously does have a geese. Does have a king, but obviously using Ganryu a lot in the online space. I'll tell you now, he the love of him using Ganryu has gotten so strong that in the Bristol scene he is affectionately known as Mayor Simp now. So so I am definitely rooting for the mayor of Simp Town here. But all jokes aside, Sin, just a great player. I've played with him once or twice. He's a great guy. He just comes to play. There's no messing about. Well, there is messing about, but that's him having fun. But he just goes for the neck every time. So you just can't give him space. In the same regards to Joker, the moment he knows that there's blood in the water, that's it. You're done for. And it's a very same aggressive play style. J-Web, I gotta be honest, I haven't really seen much of J-Web to give my own verdict on it, and my apologies because I know the man does do waves, but obviously to make it into the lockdown, that's no small feat.
Indeed, and I kind of want. So I love Sin to bits, and he's a great guy, and come to him before, but I kind of want J-Web to win here.
Of course.
One, obviously for his region, bring the region out more, but I also want to actually just see a Shaheen. More
I know,
often.
right?
I've sold cards, obviously. In Europe, we don't really see too many Shaheens. There's one here and there, but you don't really see it much. And I think it'll be good character representation. And he's a fairly honest character for the most part. He doesn't have too much cheese.
Just dry.
If Leffen played him, then we wouldn't call him cheese either. I think we can use Leffen as a way of determining cheese. It's a new meter I've been using for determining
the cheeseometer.
Yeah, no, he said my Kazumi was cheese, so I'm kind of offended at this point. But I digress. But I think J-Web winning would bring more attention to the region, and is what I want to see. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
However, Sin's Ganryu,
it's something else. It's something else. It's really something else. Mayor Simp, everyone. The head of Simp Town. So yeah, keep an eye on that one. That's gonna be that's gonna be a good one for sure. But we'll see. Only time will tell. So right, okay.
Let's get into the rest of the pool.
Yes. Let's talk about it real quick. Now I know that there's one name in particular that I know you want to talk about. So I'll let you take the lead on this one.
Right, so we have the man with the legend. Apparently he's trash and free, but I don't know. I can't attest to that. Mr. Risky Luck himself, sponsored by Brutal Democracy.
Brutal Democracy, yes.
Yeah, quality player. I would like to say quality player, but he played a ton of other characters at this point. We've seen the Leroy, we've seen the Random Jack, we've seen the Law. There's a variety of characters. It's nice to see him that he mainly sticks to Claudio, but he does venture outwards.
As any good player should, you should have that character variety.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how he does. He the only thing I'm tilted about with Risky is that sometimes I find tech and then some commentator on stream winkling Bebop and goes, Risky like tech. It's like
the risky special. I know.
I invented that. What? But anyway, jokes aside, absolute jokes aside, I want to see how he does. I think he wants to redeem himself after the last time. I think he wants to find Joker in top 8 and absolutely body him.
Yeah, the anime run back for sure.
But whether will that happen is another scenario entirely. Right. And who else do we have here, people?
We've got Goob. Now, I gotta be honest, my memory of Goob playing is so hazy because I remember him using Horang and I just being like, oh, I can't tell what the hell is going on. Just so fluid. So it's gonna be interesting to watch. I at the risk of being honest, he doesn't really set himself apart from other Horang players, and that may seem like an unfair comparison, and I accept that.
There's a lot of Horang players, to be fair.
There's a lot of Horang players, especially in the London area, especially in the UK in general. So it is tough to separate yourself from that. But obviously, I just want Goob to kind of really use this to kind of break himself out, develop himself a bit. But all in all, always comes in, always puts on a show, and that's just what you want to see. He never goes down without a fight, so it's going to be really good. I think that'll be a really interesting one.
Indeed, and he won the level 4 rank up league, I believe. Climbed out that, put some damage to people in the level above as well.
Yes.
So we'll see how he does. We'll see if he can take some names. Obviously, it's gonna be every pool is very difficult, and there'll be some players that will will struggle. But it's online, so you never know. They might get lucky. They might have a good days. Everyone has a bad day. Sometimes a player you really don't expect to win, the underdog, will come out with a lucky play or with just a really good read.
It happens.
And those things happen. And sometimes styles just counter each other. You could have a player that's creme de la creme, but he comes into like an Alyssa spamming chainsaws and doesn't know how to deal with it because there's so many buttons being hit. And those things happen, and that's how styles just counter each other.
Yeah, 100%.
With that said, we also have ISNV, another Gunreef / Bird player from Scotland.
Filthy is. Filthy. Oh yeah. Oh, I overlooked that, but filthy bear players. But jokes aside, yeah, SNV. Obviously just knows his characters really well. Looks to take initiative and just looks to keep it. Which I think is just the way to play Tekken. In this cycle of its lifespan. Solid player. Last time he competed in the Lockdown League, I remember him doing fairly well. I can't remember if he made it out of groups or not, but he was definitely a viewer favorite. So yeah, like all props to SNV. Let's hope that obviously he can do better this time coming around, and I'm sure he will. And then obviously, last but definitely not least, the man himself, Dawn Jaeger, someone who I know personally. I've played with quite a bit. Uses Steve and Zafina. Obviously he still stands by Steve, because people say to me, so he plays Zaf a lot in tournament and he uses Steve a lot, and people say, who does he main? He mains Steve. He mains Steve, and I think that's the problem. It's not a problem, but you've got a character who's fundamentally better, plays the strengths of the game, and then he's got his love affair of Steve. He just loves the character, he attaches to him, he plays better with it, he identifies with Steve, and I'm all for it, for such, jokes aside, because I've had that struggle myself, when I was playing two characters, and looking forward to Dawn Jaeger playing as well, not just because obviously a bit of bias in that, but great player, overlooked honestly, He enters a lot of tournaments. He plays a lot of the Birmingham lot. He does bits and he just gets better, and he's just got constant drive. I think that's really important. So I really hope he can use this as an opportunity to really knock it home. And he's definitely got what it takes to make it out of groups. So I definitely keep an eye on him. It's going to be a good one.
Indeed, and I think we're getting into the last.
We are.
Let's see, what's the last one? Oh wow, it's almost as if every pool is stacked.
It's almost as if you had to be good. But jokes aside, it just goes to show how high the bar is set these days. I said bar, by the way, okay, so that like you lot won't understand, but trust me, there's context to this. So yeah, like I said, guys, the UK Tekken scene, the bar is just way up there. The threshold of play has just increased to such an astronomical level now that you absolutely have to put in so much work just to get your games in. It's ridiculous now, and I'm all for it. It's, you know, because you're only going to be as good as the best guy. You know what I mean? So
indeed. And yeah, let's look at some matchups. Let's see what we have.
Yeah, right. Okay, now
look at that. It's former teammates.
Now, this is an interesting one. This is a very interesting one. So we've got two OGs. You know, bit of history between these two. King J versus Epsilon Project's The Phantom. The Phantom. Never forget that bit. He reminded me once, never again. But build up aside. This will be a good one. This will be a good one. Not just because of the names on the screen, but I think it's just a good matchup. All in all, honestly, you know, because Raven's one of those weird characters who's in and out of controversy. You know, you can go months out hearing about Raven, and then legitimately for 2 weeks straight, your timeline is filled with people who are convinced she is the best character in the game. It's crazy. So, like, you know, I think it's great, but it also depends who's using her. You know, I'm not going to use my bopism again because I had too many dirty laughs. So we're going to leave that one aside. King J plays a whole lot of the cast. Obviously, he's had a Geese, he's had a Leroy, he had a Facom Ram, a Ganryu, a King, if I remember correctly.
There's been a few, and he's especially because obviously when he streams, he plays for a lot of different characters, and we've been using Ganryu and winners in the tournament on Saturday. And then my man CSC in the chat turned up, big up the Katarina.
No, I remember, yeah, Katarina doing bits. Katarina doing bits, yeah, no, wink, wink. We see you, CSC.
So it will definitely be very interesting. I think Jay is a force to be reckoned with. No, I've said this like 3 times about 3 different people now, but it's true. But there's a lot of players that are very, very strong, and Jay's one of them. I think he has to be very careful, depending on who he plays.
Yeah,
I think he's prone to getting a bit tilted, and online does that to people sometimes. You know, it is what it is. But I think if he keeps his composure, he can go very far. And he showed it last time. He won the LCQ and got out of pools, I believe.
Yeah, he did. He made top 8, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
I think so, something like that,
yeah. Because that's a good one, all for it. So if we have a look at the next matchup now, we can talk you guys through it. Oh, the tension's killing me. There it is. We've got Stink 450, Irish representation, and Diabetic Bread. Now, I know what you're all thinking, because I thought exactly the same. Waifu players. But come on, guys, come on. There's got to be a couple. Leave them be. They're people too. But jokes aside, so yeah. Julia, you know, I think there's not much to say. Obviously, Diabetic Bread had a Raven as well, but was opting to use Julia, which is just, you know, the smarter pick, honestly. Julia is often the center of a lot of discussion when it comes to the balancing of the game. Like, you know, we talked about it earlier with Changbang use of Julia. But, you know, and it's just contrasted against Lily, who may have really explosive damage and really unpredictable movesets. But all in all, kind of fairly underrepresented. But Stink obviously looking to change that. So, like, it's really good. I love watching Stink play, honestly. Really, like, kind of embodies Lily's character, honestly. Like, he's very audacious, very overconfident with his play, and I think it's just great to see. I think it's a great representation of, you know, the player being one with the character. I think it's really interesting. Diabetic Bread just does absolute bits with Julia as well. Like, in the last Lockdown League, I believe He made it out of groups as well, and I believe he made it into rank up level. Was it level 2 or 1?
Level 2.
Yeah, so obviously Diabetic Bread, definitely not one to count out in this matchup at all. Obviously, both great players. Yeah, and he was top 8 in the last Lockdown League coming through.
Was it an LCQ?
It was it LCQ or was no? It was. Ooh,
It was LCQ.
I'm not sure. There's a lot of games. Sorry, everyone. I'm a bit fragile.
Yeah, it was LCQ. But it's a quality player. I think Stink is definitely a player I want to see more though. Again, I said this about a few people. There's a lot of players that are very talented, and I think Stink is one of them. I think he utilizes Lily quite well. He obviously uses the movement to his advantage. I think he there isn't that many Northern Irish players, so it's cool to see them. And I wish Smash actually allowed people to put Northern Ireland as the location. It doesn't, so that means I have to mess around with flags somehow. But it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. I think Bread gets slept on a lot because he's come a long way. He's definitely come a long way. He still loses some matches that he maybe shouldn't, and he still freezes up sometimes. But he's got a lot of potential, and especially when you're using a character like Julia, you can really utilize the potential. He has the tools in hand, and he just has to really make them work. He does have a few other secondaries as well, but I'm pretty sure he's probably going to be singing to Julia in tournament.
Yeah, that would be my guess as well. But who knows? We've been proven wrong before. So yeah, I think the battle of the waifus is going to be an interesting one. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on that one.
Indeed, and let's get back into the rest of the pool and finish this off.
Yeah, cool. So I'll let you start us off. There's one big name there that pops out to me at rank 1.
Yeah, it's do we even need to introduce him? I mean, much like Eddie, he's been dominating a lot of the online tournaments.
100%.
Pretty much every Belong tournament, almost every Belong tournament went to him. He's been collecting money like crazy, which is at his age he can open an ISA and save up for uni or something.
Hey man, he's on the grind. I respect the hustle. Haven't you seen Rounders? No. Okay, then whatever. Man of no taste, that's fine. But yeah,
what did you expect?
But yeah, not much to say about E Minor. Does absolute bits. I'll be very surprised if E Minor doesn't make it far in the Lockdown League. Strong Eliza player, probably the best Eliza in the UK, if not the EU. So great representation from E Minor. Next up is one of your man, Dem, I believe.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed, one of us, the man, the legend, the Lee himself, Sink. Again, another young player, but he's been putting in so much work. He's been improving so much. I think he's one of the players that you generally really people want to see win because of how much effort he's been putting into it and just how humble he is about most things.
Definitely.
He's just a nice guy. He's absolutely lovely. He comes locals. Even someone as local or small, he will come down, he'll play some games. He'll play a tournament, be it 5 people or 15 or 50, he'll play. And I think that's a really good quality. If you turn up to your locals, you are instantly just a better person.
I couldn't agree more.
That's a proven scientific fact.
And I will say before we move on real quick, I think what really sticks out for Sink is he's one of those players that it's really frustrating to see because he develops so quick, and you just think to yourself, I really wish I could just kind of level up at that pace. So and it's really good to see. So yeah, I couldn't agree with you 100%. Or I've never spoken with him personally, but I know for a fact he's a top-notch guy. Always comes back hitting harder, always does better, very humble. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing him play. Next we have a fan favorite. Next we have he was the people's champ, if I remember correctly, in rank up 2. Naoki. Now I got some lore. I've got some lore for those of you who don't know. So Naoki, right, plays Ling. A very, very stellar Ling. When I say stellar, I mean dirty, absolutely disgusting. It's horrid. But let me tell you something, right? So Naoki, great player. Right, I'll leave it at that. But man, right? So it's rank up 2. Think of it. It's your chance to make a name for yourself, to do big, make waves, upset people. his wife went into labor, and he makes it to the top 8 of the rank up. He gets 3rd or 2nd, if I remember correctly. Like, he did so well. Or 4th. That was it.
No,
4th.
5th.
Oh, he had 5th, sorry. He had 5th, yeah. Man just does absolute bits, and his wife's in labor. And then he dips, he's like, thanks for having me, guys. Sorry I had to dip so soon. My wife's in labor. She's giving birth. Now, what? I love Naoki. I love Naoki. Really looking forward to seeing her come out. What an absolute character. But yeah, like I said, really good link, really entertaining. It's going to be really interesting. There's a few people who I can think of who I really want to see up against Naoki. So it's going to be
and it's quite interesting because when we saw him enter rank up, it was like, okay, so where do we place him? And Shadow went looking through some YouTube and stuff, and he found like some like T6 like Sugamo Arcade or something clips, and it's like, okay, Naoki, I guess so we know that he was in Japan at some point. And then I was like thinking like I remember the name, right? And it was like a tournament. It was like Christmas tournament, like a Christmas round robin. And I remember it was like me, Kobe, I think Chicken was there, Rukang, a few other people. It was like 16 players. We were just playing a nice round robin, to end the year. And he was there, and I remember it's like, oh, this guy's playing Ling, and I see some absence, like, he took out Kobe. I mean, Kobe was half drunk, to be fair, but he took out Kobe, he took out me, he took out a few other people, and he plays very well. It's like, okay, I remember this guy. And it turns out it's the same guy, and he pulls out, like, he was making T7 Oki look like Tag 2 Oki at some point, and I was like, how is this happening? What? Someone gets speaking some of his clips. Let's get some analysis, But it was very interesting, very, like you said, very explosive, a lot of robbery, and especially the refill setups were absolutely great to see. Yeah.
And obviously, last but not least, obviously, DJ Vu, another one of the Scottish lot coming in hot. Not much to really say. I mean, anytime DJ comes in, obviously puts in a lot of work. Was in the last Lockdown League, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Doing a lot of work. It's just good to see, because like obviously I think like it's just to bring it back real quick, it's just great to see a lot of representation from across the aisles. So it's good to see, and I think DJ Vu, he's definitely he's a great candidate because he just always comes out. He does a lot of work, he's just a great player. Like he plays Jack, Shaheen. I believe he's used someone else, but it escapes me at this moment. But yeah, all solid player. He's very defensively. He's got a very defensive mindset, which is probably the hardest way to be, but it's the best. 100%, like because you always come back stronger if your defense is just, and it's very admirable. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing DJ do some bits, doing some Scottish bits, if you will, decent patter, if you will. So.
Indeed, and when you, especially because obviously he's playing Carter, we don't really see represented very often, so it's always good to see. Goes to see the Jack, and I don't know how he identifies with Jack very much, but they're similar sizes, so what can go wrong? Absolute giant of a man.
Never met him.
He towers like no humans. He's huge. I didn't expect him to be that tall. Wow. When I saw my big in.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Okay, and with that's all the pulls. So let's slowly start wrapping things up. I will toot my horn. I don't know if I'm allowed, but I might. I might do it anyway.
Go for it.
So some of the player card stuff you've seen is my handiwork, which this isn't just one thing. This is the thing that you guys can see. So all the styling and all those things weren't done by me. That's done by Deltoid. Deltoid, who did our name bars and did a ton of other stuff for Elf. He's the one that did all the styling and all the designing on that aspect. I provide all the data. I'm good at programming. I'm not very good at styling. So he did all that stuff. So big credits to him. And I'll shout him out more as I'm revealing this stuff. There's a lot more to come. Maybe things like calculating the player standings within UK and Europe using all the data within Smash GG. So things like Season 1 to Season 3, maybe I can actually make a tier list of players using only data. No personal bias, pure data, nothing else. But those things are, they're in the works. I need more time. I've spent the last 2 months pretty much almost every day working out. So I work as a programmer, and I would spend like the next 3-4 hours researching Smash, trying to figure out why Smash isn't returning the data I need and things like that. So it's definitely I needed more time on that stuff. But with that said, some of those tools will be released. There will be some TOs that will get it for free because they cooperate with Valve, and you know I want to give back to them. Some of it will be released to free to everyone. Not everything, because I spend way too much time to just give away for free for like big companies to grab it. I will have some sort of a Ko-fi thing if people want to donate to it, and you know I want to release as much of this for free and make it available because I want the production in LGC to improve. But you know that's coming over time. I will have my own socials stuff out for people that are interested and people that want to get into it and use it. There'll be a lot more analysis, not just production side. There's a lot of production side at the moment, but there'll be more analysis bits as well. But that's all in the future, and I'll cover it on my own socials. With that said, we will also have the start of this event, of this massive Lockdown League 2. It's starting this Sunday, if I don't get anything wrong, right? This Sunday, yes, I was indeed correct.
This Sunday, yes. So at 2 o'clock BST, 1400 hours, everyone. So no excuses if you're late. So yeah, I'm looking forward to everyone. I hope you all are as well. I believe we've got a bit of a recap thing coming for you all. Am I correct there, production? All right, okay. Ignore me, everyone. Ignore me, everyone. Oh, there we go. See, I knew it. See, clairvoyant. What can I say? The Welsh druidness coming through once again. But yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Obviously, just to give you guys a quick rundown of how it's going to work. A quick summary of all the players, changing rules, and obviously explaining how everyone can support. Obviously, make sure to check out East London Fighters on Twitter and Twitch so you don't miss out on any updates if there are any. And please make sure that you do tune in. And most importantly, stay safe, everyone.
Indeed, take care.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the East London Fighters. Oh my god!
That's it.
Yeah, this is where.
All the trades! Oh my goodness, both in rage. Oh my god, what an answer!
You're
Always
using
come with a screwdriver.
more than two.
Oh my
What is happening?
Uh-oh.
Oh, I went for the whip punish there.
Oh,
Blue stuff! That was huge! Oh god, oh god. This is a heartbreak. Punish that!
no one punishes me! Oh my god, the spaghetti is being talked.
Is so intense. Running in, down back two. Wake up! He's on rage!
Pressure!
It's the end of the story for the hero! Blue stuff! Blocked! What's happening? 20 seconds left! I lost it!
Spectacular.
It looked like a read. 50% off. Back one to get out.
Oh my goodness.
How's he gonna get in?
No,
Just get the wall.
smidge off. Punish that.
Oh, the back!
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Oh my goodness! Break your back!
What's the setup now? Oh my goodness!
Calvin is going to have to pull something out of his ass here, and I'm betting it's a snake edge. There it is! Yes! Yes! Called it!
Oh my god! Oh! No punish! Oh my god! What's happening?
What is going on? What is happening?
Spike!
Is he dead?
No! Oh! Gets a bit.
Did he swing?
Oh my god! It couldn't lift!
Gigaron just looks so comfortable right now.
Oh, backswing low.
This could be dead.
Not quite. One more chance.
He's got the back foot. Oh my god. He's in rage. One more hit! And that's it! Chicken Maru is your lockdown.